Like to call to order a special meeting for Lafayette Township Board of Trustees, April 14th. It is 7 o'clock p.m. The notice requirements of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and the implementing rules adopted by the board pursuant thereto were complied with for this meeting. Roll call.
O'Neill here.
Warcola here.
Fullerton here. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So there will be obviously a public participation in this meeting for one subject only. It needs to be the topic of 6635 Polka Road. There won't be any other public participation, only of this topic. New business, Trustee O'Neill.
Yeah, as we kind of started focusing on this over the winter time, I'm going to start by sending these photos to you guys to take a look at them. The first ones are the drone footage that the police department provided back in November. It's a copy of the aerial photograph from the county, and then some more recent ones. I also want to say that Mr. Palker did meet with us last week on Friday and admitted to us that he wasn't in position to be able to clean it up and pay for it, so he gave us the okay to waive his rights to do that. And so this is just to declare the property a nuisance. I'll start. Is there anybody here that wants to speak up to say that the property is not considered a nuisance? Nobody? Okay, so it probably will go fairly quickly. I guess, Kathy, if you want to start, you've sent in or brought a bunch of papers, photographs over the several months showing it. If you want to come up and or stand up there, you don't have to.
Just make sure that you say your name clearly for the recording of the meeting, please.
Kathy Byrne, I live on Falca Road. The photos I brought in were the progression of the property from the beginning of last year of the trash being up by the house, and now it's out by the road, and it's just every day it's progressively worse.
For the record, would you give the dates on the photographs, so the progression that you've got there?
The dates are,
Starting with the earliest one.
the earliest
Yeah.
one is, did I get these in order?
I think I arranged them when I was sitting here.
I had them in order. My very earliest one was December 9th of 2022. And there was trash around, but it was all close to the house. I had drone photos done of that. That's the right one. I might have given you the wrong date there. I didn't know I'd have to do this, I wasn't prepared.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's okay. I know I had an earlier one that was much earlier in the year, but anyhow, it's gotten progressively worse over time. They've had dumpsters there at one time. I think Mr. Palker Sr. brought dumpsters in, but when they were picked up, they were almost empty.
Right.
Yeah.
When's the latest photograph you have there?
Latest one I took on, I printed it today, I took yesterday,
Okay.
so yeah.
And do those photographs, you don't mind if I jump in?
Go ahead.
Those photographs accurately reflect the condition of the property?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it's deplorable.
Anybody else want to?
Anybody need to see these?
Dave?
Real quick, just for Bill Thorne's thing, I drive by that place almost every day, every other day, and it started out just like she says, and anyone that wants to drive by, they can't say that there's nothing wrong with that property, then their eyes need to be checked out. But it started out just like that, a pickup truck load here and a pickup truck load there. I think at some point in time, his flatbed truck is broken down. He was cleaning out people's barns and stuff like that, because he come 4 or 5 times a day and just dump garbage there off the back of that truck, so. And it's just like, you know, it's up to right up to the curb,
Right.
if you will. So it's just like this didn't happen overnight. It's been a couple year progression, and like I say, they had some kind of like, you rent a truck at Home Depot there. As fast as he would take 1 truckload a day, 8 truckloads would replace what was there, so it progressively got worse. And I can guarantee you clean that place up, 3 days later, it's gonna the junk pile's gonna start all over
Well,
again.
they need to put a no dumping sign there. Because people are coming in the middle of the night and dumping.
Is that something we'd be allowed to do? No?
Oh, they could authorize you to do it, Mr. Walker could authorize you to do it, but independently, no.
Right, okay.
Excuse me, just so we have it.
Dave Hollish.
Could you state
No,
your
you
name,
put it for the
please?
record.
Dave, Polish,
Okay, and your name, please?
Michelle Mikulski.
Okay, thank you.
we're in trouble because they're gonna send the henchmen to our house.
I know.
No, but if you don't, Sherry's gonna come after us.
Anybody else?
I'll come on up so you don't have to strain your backs to see me. I'll go up here. Mark Frederick, 6146 West Smith Road, Medina. And I always throw this in. United States of America, continent North America, planet Earth, Milky Way solar system, even the Martians can find me. I don't have to hide from nobody. A lot of you know who I am, and I have a good time living. May as well enjoy it. I'd like to say that I've known the Blocker family for 40 years. We go way back. We go back to the time where his dad was alive and they had the Herefords down in the valley on the other side of the track. And we're all here because we agree there's a problem. Okay? So I'm certainly not going to say there's not. But I'd like to give you some background that probably a lot of you don't know. Is that Bob, being a Navy veteran and a blood donor. And over the years, we've talked, 40 years, a long time. That guy's given more blood than anybody could, like a vampire. Gallon donor, I don't know how many times. If you don't believe me, ask him or the Red Cross. But I'd like to throw that in there, because that gives you an example or an idea of what Bob is really like. Now for the problem, his son. When that son came here from Texas, and I know reasons why he's here from Texas, but I don't want to say that in public. And I will say there's some issues, being polite again, whether it's drugs and hoarding and drinking, combination of all of the above, I might add. And that's gotten progressively worse too. And I've talked to him as a friend. I used to work those fields. I'll be out there planting corn with a buddy not too long on top of the hill and all. And I've talked to him. I've tried. And he says it's the son. And I'll tell you the truth, he's afraid of the son. The son has issues. They've been have cops out there. Bob's afraid that the kid will go nuts and, I hate to say it, shoot him, burn the house down. This is more than a pile of trash in the front yard. And the question is, what do we do about it? We got to get it cleaned up. There's no doubt about that. I would suggest that we do it following the legal way, Ohio Revised Code 5505. We got a lawyer here. Do your job. Cover your tail for the township. All right, now that's done. And the next thing is, how good a neighbor you want to be. Let's get some dumpsters in there, whether he pays for them or the township pays for them, I don't know, I'll kick in 50 bucks. Dumpsters are 600. And my neighbor had one on Smith Road, Stan Vikovic's old place. It was a green one from the city of Medina. Maybe you want to check into that, get a deal on a dumpster or two. You're going to need them. And I would say we get some neighbors. I'll go. A couple hours, I'll be glad to come in. If we get 10 other people, I'll jump in there, don't get hurt. Fill up those dumpsters, clean up the
Bobby
mess.
is not gonna allow us to go over
Well,
there. There is no way. I'm not gonna get anywhere near his house.
well, and the other half of that, I was going to say, we need 2 dumpsters,
No.
10 volunteers, a
20.
court order, and a cop. Because
You have
just there's some,
tremendous liabilities if you step foot on that property.
It's not 2 dumpsters, let me tell you this right now.
well, I drove
I work
past
in
on the way
construction.
here, I know.
That's a good 20, get 20, 40-yard dumpsters out there.
I was surprised to see the storm door up on the road just now. So, I mean, that's what we got to do. The only question is, who's going to do it, how are we going to do it, and when? When is long overdue, 2 years by my book. I don't know what the statute is, Ohio Revised Code, there's a timeline there. Start the buzzer. Get the timeline ticking, cover our tail, as I said, I think it's what, 7 days or 14 days notice?
Minimum of 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days, give them the notice, do it, and then after that, we step in and do what you gotta do, guys. I live around the corner, so it's not right up my nose, but I'm in the township, and if you really wanna know who I am, you know those toilets on Smith Road?
Yours. Yes. Oh, man.
I got into a you-know-wedding match with the county engineer about 40 years ago, and I told him what he could do, and he told me he didn't have a place, so I provided.
You want a yellow one?
Yellow, black, or red, I'll give,
No. No.
the county engineer bet me I couldn't get 800 of them. So I went to school and told the students, hey, you guys, on the way to school in Cleveland every morning, if you see one, all you gotta do is give me a lead. Scrap and paper, 4221 East 71st. If I pick up that toilet after school, you got 50 bonus points. I had 600 kids looking for toilets every day.
You're stealing them right out of the school bathroom.
Look at that. And I told him, if you get a red or a black one, I'll give you 100 bonus points.
Sorry, I'm glad you brought up Mr. Palker, though, because I'd like to say for the record that he's been very cooperative, and it was awfully nice of him to come in and sit down with us.
I don't know if
I don't know what we could do with the kid, that's the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew Mary very, I would say pretty well, maybe not as well as, I know Robert, I know Dick.
Anybody else like to speak?
35 years.
You said the health department was over there.
The health department has made several,
They were in the house.
I don't know about in the house.
Okay. Because I thought you said the last meeting they were in the house and they said the house was fine to live in.
I don't think I said that, but
Okay, I swore that's what I heard.
inside the house would not be our scope,
Yeah.
honestly. But I know they have made several attempts there, and the last I heard when I talked with them is they were referring it to the prosecutor at the county level.
There's no pipes, there's no doors, and all the doors are ripped off inside, there's water in the basement.
Oh, sorry.
Stacy Beer, Lafayette Road. I just have a question. After it gets all cleaned up, if people are dumping stuff there, isn't that illegal? Like if I were to drive over there and dump a bunch of stuff, wouldn't I get in trouble for that?
I talked to the cop the last time here, and he says if Bobby is allowing someone to dump there, he's allowed, they're allowed.
And that's the key, whether they're allowing. That doesn't mean that it's not gonna violate the statute.
Right.
And once we've established this, it will be a quicker process. If we have to do this again.
If we have to do
Not
it
that we wanna
again,
do it,
the
but
process is expedited from this. My recommendation to the board is that you do it quicker. The minute it starts accumulating, not only to file this, but I'd probably recommend they file for an injunction as well, which would give some penalty to him, could put him in jail, the court could put him in jail for violating the injunction, or fine him. Fine probably, what everybody says is true, it's probably not gonna work, but the jail might, threat of a jail sentence might. So if it does happen again, which I know a lot of people are concerned, the process should be started a lot quicker, and an injunction likewise should be requested from the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
anybody else? Okay, finally, Alice made a inspection, what was it, 2 weeks ago roughly? Like you and Tim went by there?
Approximately,
And
yes.
you would attest it's probably in the exact same condition as everybody else's.
Yes,
Ms. Biden?
I've been there, Alice Sturgeon, zoning inspector. I've been to the house before. Didn't get anywhere, obviously. He was never home. But when I left, when I came down, he was there with the pickup at the end of the driveway, and I stopped, and he came over, and we had a reasonable conversation. And he admitted that it was, needed to be cleaned up, it wasn't right, and he's trying, but he also said that he's a scrapper, he thinks he's a scrapper, and I said, well, scrappers get stuff and then they sell it.
Right.
And he did admit that it has turned into a hoarding situation, and that he would try to clean it up. And the day I was there, he did have a pickup, and he was putting some things in there that I think he was going to take and sell as scrap. But,
Hasn't changed.
no.
For the record, Alice, would you look at this picture and would you confirm that? Is that better or worse than when you looked at it?
Well, probably worse. I mean, I was able to drive up the driveway the first time I went there. Now, no, it's,
Okay.
Can you drive in?
And then she was looking at the photograph dated 2/5/23.
so that's accurate.
Okay.
I got one more question about that. That trailer that's sitting there, someone's still living in that?
I don't know that anybody's living in it. I mean, when the cops surveilled it, they said that they couldn't ascertain that.
They're coming in and out of there all the time. I can see the door from my living room.
I probably wouldn't argue that.
Yeah.
But
Is that gonna be part of the stuff that's removed?
probably not. That's,
Yeah,
So the
both?
trailer and the boat's gonna be staying there.
I'm not even aware of where the boat
There's a
is.
boat
Is the
behind
boat
the
behind it?
trailer.
Okay.
Chris, I asked him if anybody was living in the trailer, and he said no, that they use it for God knows what.
No, I tell you the same thing if you ask me.
Well, the thing is too, he hasn't, there
I'm
is a
just
house
saying
there, so
that
it's
for the
often hard to
record,
say
he
that
did.
that's not his
Nobody
interest.
else
I know
missing it.
that's
That's
all
little
yours,
appeal
but I
box,
tell you
it's like the money for the dumpster.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, have the police looked into the trailer situation? Like, could something illegal, like drugs or something, be going on in the trailer?
I don't know. I
Because
mean,
that
if
happens.
anybody can call the police on that if they have a tip. I mean,
There's
it's not something
some
that,
strange people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
coming out
because I
of
mean, you
there.
see a lot of people, you know,
Different people.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
and some people, you know, use that to make drugs.
right,
And that's why it's away from the house.
right. No, I get it, but this is specifically about whether or not we can determine
Yeah.
this as a nuisance to them. Actually, I'm ready to make a motion right now that we,
About Tim Graham.
I'm sorry. Forgot about you back there. He was also on the, inspecting the property with Alice on the same day. If you want to give your synopsis of it.
Sure. I met with Robert Jr. the same day on March 20th in Alice. He did say he was trying to clean it up. I've also since met with Robert Sr. Twice, and he stated his deficiencies in being able to control his son and clean up the subject property. And he's asked for our help in this matter. And we've given him a couple weeks to try to remedy it himself, but at this point, once they make this resolution, we'll be able to proceed forward with doing it ourselves. I drove by it again today. It is cumulatively
Yeah,
worse.
I did too. I would make the motion to determine that this property is indeed a nuisance at 6635 Parker Road.
I'd second the motion.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Determined a nuisance.
Yep, don't need that.
So now can we explain what's next, so people understand what's gonna happen?
Had a title search, Tim, got the title search done. There's, at least my review, there's at least 2 lien holders on the property. Statutorily, we have to notify them and give them at least 7 days to contact us. And if they so desire, say that they'll clean it up or they'll arrange to have it cleaned up. If within the 7 days after they receive the certified mail, they have not contacted the township, then you can proceed to go ahead and clean it up. You can get the debris, the junk, off the garbage. Again, not having seen the trailer up close and the boat, I don't know if those qualify as junk or not, but you can clean
For
it
an
up.
older trailer, it doesn't look bad on the outside. I just see a lot of people coming in and out of there.
And the entire cost involved would be sent to the county, and it would be requested to be put on the taxes, tax rolls against the property for collection.
So just clarification, Bill, on the 7 days, 7 day, that day one starts when we get the
Certification,
acknowledgement back from the
that they got
bank
it.
or whoever
Right.
the lien holders are.
Right.
That's when we start 7,
7
not
days.
from today.
Not from today.
From when we get
You gotta
back.
give them at least 7 days to
Okay.
look at it. Like I said, I don't expect either of them to do it. The one lien holders are very small amounts of money. I don't think they would be willing to spend the kind of money this cleanup would take to protect those small amounts. The bank is another matter. I wouldn't think they would, but we've got to give them the opportunity because we will go ahead of them if in fact the property is foreclosed on. The tax lien would go ahead of the bank lien, so
Okay.
they may want to protect their position.
Because is that going to
how long from-
overextend the value of the property then,
Yeah,
but the township would get their money first.
right.
Okay.
Bill, from the time that we send the certified letters out, is there a minimum or maximum number of days we have to wait? What if they get them, they just don't respond, look at them, just throw them away?
7 days. Once the certified mail gives confirmation they served, 7 days. That's when.
That
7
they've actually signed for it and received it?
7
What, but what I'm
business
saying,
days?
what if, I'm
7
sorry.
days. The statute says 7 days.
Hold on, but what if they just refuse them and don't sign for them? Then would that be the same thing at that point, they were refused and sent back? It would be 7 days from that day?
If they refuse it, I don't think a bank would do that, but I'd have to double check
Okay.
on that.
I mean, I would think that'd be the same thing.
It doesn't provide for that.
Okay.
Actually, what it provides for, if you can't get notice, then you can, other methods of service. Go physically serve it on them.
Okay.
If it was on the property, we could post it, photograph it with a
Okay.
date on it when it's done. There's other ways to get this to
I just
service.
want to make sure we have all of our ducks.
But we've
in
got to
a row.
make sure they've got it, they've had it for the at least 7 days.
What if one of the institutions opts to clean it up themselves?
They would have to make an agreement with the township, and then we'd get township would have the ability to set
Then
time
how
limits
long
and
do
so
they
forth.
have on it?
That would be up to the board to determine how long.
So that could possibly come back around again.
Yeah,
Okay.
possible.
Possible.
All right, Chris, do you have anything else?
I do not.
That's, you're good?
I'm good.
Bill? Barney?
I'm good here.
All right,
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. It is 7:21.